What's up, everybody? It's Omega from Omega's Gaming, back at it again with another ESO video. I've been focusing on PvP a lot recently, but I'm going to go ahead and show everybody my healer build. I primarily heal in end content in this game when I'm not doing PvP. Um, I've been asked by all the people that I heal for and by a couple people on YouTube to kind of make a video on how I do things. Um, so we're going to go ahead and get into that. We'll start off with the sets, and then once I'm finished, I'll give alternate sets, just in case you don't have these and different things that you can use. Um, so my favorite set in the entire game for healer is Spell Power Cure. I'm pretty sure that that's not a surprise to anybody, but it really is super important. I run mostly Divine pieces. I couldn't get a Divine's Glove; it just took too long. And then I do the infused chest. Honestly, like if I was gonna switch infused, I want this Divines and then this infused just to get my max magic up, which it's not low, but more max magic better. So the second thing that we're using is we are using Sanctuary set. Now I know compete people are, oh, Sanctuary. Um, this makes you heal extremely hard. So in those situations where you're like your healer's not healing hard enough, this is amazing. I run this setup in trials. I also put Worm on as well, just depending. But Spell Power Cure is the main set that you're going to heal on, and then you're going to switch between Sanctuary, Worm, different things like that. It just depends on how your party is set up. But this is a never fail situation, because even if you go into a trial with this and someone else, has Worm and stuff, you're going to be like the backup. I'm going to save everybody heals. Like when a boss is doing super damage, you're going to be able to heal anybody through this, and it's not going to be a problem. I've hit like 37k Breath of Life, and my average heals per second are usually between like 25 and 35,000, depending on where we're at. And that's in 4-person dungeons. That's not trials. Trials, it's like 50k. The heals are ridiculous. And it's pretty, I wouldn't say tanky, but it has really good survivability. Like you are able to survive on this. Let's go into let's look at the. I'm running the Maelstrom Restoration Staff. Sometimes I do use regeneration in the 4-persons, so it's nice and it helps out a lot. It just depends. I would prefer this to either be powered or defending, but the crit, upping my crit isn't bad because of how we set up our champion points. On my back bar, I'm just running a lightning staff. I would rather have a Maelstrom lightning staff, but that just wasn't in the cards. I've never gotten a lightning staff, everything else but. But the reason we're running this, I will explain later. The way that I run my healer is I can do it in trials, dungeons, it doesn't matter. But not only do I heal, but I pull around 20k DPS on mobs, maybe 10k single target, and I provide a lot of synergies and different things like that. So first skill that's very important is Combat Prayer. This is going to do a little burst heal, but it's also going to give everyone Minor Berserk, so they're going to do 8% more damage. And it's going to give everybody a little bit more physical and spell resistance. It's not a lot, but anything helps. Next, we're going to use Healing Springs. I choose Healing Springs because I never want to run out of magic. And the way that I have this set up, I literally never run out of magic. Like, it's almost impossible to run out of magic on this. Breath of Life, of course, you need to use it. I don't spam this. If you spam Breath of Life, you're fucking up. This is a oh shit moment to where you see someone who's about to die and you just burst heal them back to life. But this is only in emergency situations. And then I use Harness Magicka once again to get more magicka back. Inner Light to buff my magic and my crit, which is important. Now, I don't run Warhorn. I prefer the tanks to run Warhorn. I like to run Reviving Barrier. This right here has saved entire parties. It lasts for 30 seconds. There's a 33k damage shield, and then afterwards it heals you for 24,000 over a certain amount of time. Now, where you get this is in the Alliance War, in the support tree. You have to get support 6 and then unlock it, but it is 100% worth it. It's honestly, it really is a must-have. Like I think it's amazing. Um, the healing that you're doing on here is just insane, and you're able to keep everybody alive. On my back bar, I use Restoring Focus. I don't use the one that gives me Magicka, and I know that's weird because the whole theme has been never run out. But this increases my healing received, so when I heal myself in emergencies, and reduces the damage taken by 8%. So this is where that little bit of tankiness comes in, and it helps out a lot. This right here, I use Ritual because it does more damage. Um, People can use a Purify Synergy, but it also increases the healing as well. When you put this down, you get what is it? The minor buff. So you're gonna heal. I think it's like 6 or 7% more when you do this, which is gonna be awesome. Here's where we're using the um, lightning staff. The reason that we're doing that is most people in dungeons are gonna have 75 points um, into their Thaumaturge, which is going to give us this increased damage done against off balance enemies. So I'm going to be, part of my rotation is to drop this. Now, the lightning is what's going to off balance them, and it's going to increase everybody's damage by 10%. So you're going to increase it 8% here and 10% here. So you're giving everyone an 18% damage buff, not including your 258 spell damage that you're giving everybody. So I mean, you're really buffing people's damage. Like with you in the party, you know, if they're doing 20, you can add about 10k to their DPS parse with this. Now, next we use Repentance, obviously, because when the mobs are down, this is huge burst. It does health, stamina, Magicka recovery for me as well. But it restores stamina for me, but then it restores health for everybody else. So it doesn't do the stamina anymore, which kind of sucks, but it's still amazing. And then obviously you're going to be using Radiant Oppression. This is what you're going to spam. Wait till the boss gets about 25%. Don't do it at 50%. It just doesn't. You're wasting your heals that you could be doing. Just do this at 25% when they get really low, and then you're really gonna help out the team. And then we use Solar Prison. This is for trials or different bosses that have like really hard hitting abilities, and you know when they're coming. You can save this, drop it, and it reduces the damage that they're going to be doing by 30%. So it's a huge defense to you and the rest of the party. So you can kind of see the theme here. Lots of heals, okay? Lots of defense. You have some flex spots here. Like if you don't want to run Repentance, I really do like running the Energy Orb for the synergies. It gives people health over time. You can switch it to the magic one that gives people magic, you know, if your party is primarily magic. It just depends, but this one here is just set up for just monster heals is how I have this set up right now. Of course, we're going to go Argonian. I believe they are the best healers in the game. You know, you're getting your increased mass magicka. That potion passive, I run tripods with this. So when you get low, you pretty much burst heal yourself all the way. It's fantastic. Max health by 9%, which definitely helps. And then your healing done and received by 5%. So you're going to have 19,000 health, which is plenty. 17 is really where like the minimum, but this is going to be fantastic. Now your magic recovery is 1797. Let's see. Yes, we have all magic recovery on our jewelry. So whenever you do pop a potion, let's go ahead and just pop a potion. That's going to take you to 2048. Now with the heavy attacking that you're going to be doing and everything, you're not going to run out. Okay, I mean, running out of magicka, it's just not going to happen. Buffed, you're going to have 1700 spell damage, not bad at all. 17k spell and 12k physical. So, I mean, you're not supposed to be a tank, but this is going to help you out. And if you have to on your front bar, you have your shield to spam for 15k shield. And I mean, it's going to make that difference, trust me. Now let's get into our champion points, which some I haven't done. Now I know people are going to complain about champion points and like don't put 100 into different things, but there's a very specific reason that you're doing this is to heal as hard as possible. And we have high crit. We have like 50% chance crit. So blessed, 100% healing done. You're a healer. You're a crit healer, so you're going to go 100% to get your 25. Thaumaturge, put your last 10 in here. Okay. This is going to give you, it's an interrupt, but it doesn't matter. Eventually, you're going to get into 75 here once they add enough, but this isn't as important for you because you don't really care if you do crazy amounts of damage. Now, Ironclad, defense, 16%. 11, 11. I don't have any in thick-skinned. I'll probably put some in there once more champion points come out, but you can cleanse and different things like that, so dot damage really isn't that big of a deal. And then 72 into Bastion, because we do have that oh shit spam for our shields. Now here, once again, jump at 100, blah blah blah. I need recovery. I never want to run out of magic, especially in trials where you're having to really focus on healing and spamming. I've never, not once, ran out of magic. I almost never even pop a potion. There's no need to. It's very overpowered with its healing. It's almost too much. Like there's nothing is hard enough that you need this healer, but that's how I like to be because it's the worst thing ever when you go into a dungeon or a trial and the healer just can't keep up. Tenacity, put 100 into here. You're going to do a lot of resto heavy attacks, which give you a shit ton of magic back. So even if for some reason you got low, one resto, one potion, 38,000 magic is back. Like, not a problem. All right. So we've gone over our buffs and everything. Now, a little bit on, if you're going to spam anything, it's going to be this. You can have 2 down at one time. So anytime there's a problem, boop, boop, 2, hit everybody with their buff, keeping your buffs up. Okay? That's going to be the major thing, is keeping your buffs up and keeping those heals down. Now, I've healed every single dungeon and every single trial in this game as of right now, and trust me, this works. Now, while you are trying to farm your Spell Power Cure, which is an absolute must, one thing that you can use is you can use Seducers on the body, which would make it to where you do have quite a bit of recovery because it's a double recovery. I don't think I have any Seducers on here to show. Oh, I do. Okay. So it's a double recovery to max magicka, and it reduces the cost of all your magic abilities by 8%. So I would run, you know, a 5-piece of this, definitely. Then Sanctuary isn't hard to get. I believe what dungeons is it in? Let me make sure that I look at the dungeons so that I can tell you like specifically which one it is. Should be Banished Cells. Banished Cells should have Sanctuary. Don't quote me on it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but it should have Sanctuary. And it's not hard to get because nobody wants it. Like you can get the 3-piece rings and then 2 on the body like I did and make it easy on yourself. The hardest thing to get is going to be the Spell Power Cure. Now, I mean, if there's different rings that you want to use, that's fine. You could do like Alteration Mastery rings and then, you know, not do the Seducer. I mean, because it kind of does the same thing for the most part, just a little bit less. It makes all your abilities cheaper by 6%. So it's really up to you. I have a couple different builds that use like Twilight Remedy and different things, but Worm is good. What else do we have on here? I like Twilight Remedy. It's kind of a weird setup, but it works really well. But that's more of a advanced setup, to tell you the truth, because it's really hard to get that in the first place. You're noticing that I'm not using a monster set. I don't use a lot of monster sets. They're not really worth it for healing, and they're not really worth it for PvP that much. I mean, the double 5-piece bonus that you can get for me is just better. I don't like hoping that something procs to keep me alive. This is just a lot easier. So when it comes down to it, you can switch to Seducers for the body until you're ready, and then rings. It just depends on how you want to set it up. But the main thing with healing is running your bars properly, okay, and not spamming Breath of Life, because you will run out of magic if you're spamming Breath of Life. When you pop 2 of these bad boys down, it does a lot of healing in one area. You're going to heal somebody to full. You know what I mean? And when you have these down as well, when you get your little minor healing buff, it makes a huge difference. I mean, trust me. And then with the 52% crit, most of your heals are always critting. So you guys will see when you start healing with this setup, it's super overpowered. Um, so overpowered that it's not necessary, which is why a lot of people, asked for me to put Worm on or for me to put on um, IA, different things like that. But it's it really is amazing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, um, and try it out. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments, and I answer any comments that are posted. Um, then I can kind of like look into different setups for you. But Seducers is really good, and then any ring set that kind of gives you recovery and max magicka um, is always good, and healing done or healing received, things like that. But Lich wouldn't be too bad because it's a lot of recovery. You could probably put damage glyphs on there because you wouldn't be bad. But it really comes down to setting up your bar. Like I said, that's the most important part. So hopefully you guys are into this video. If this build works for you, make sure that you let me know in the comments, or if there's anything that you're running into, like for some reason maybe you're running into magic issues, which you shouldn't be. I can help you figure out what the problem is, because trust me, it's not with the build. It might be with like the order of the abilities that you're using, because if you're spamming too much, or you're getting worried and not trusting your own heals, you'll over spam, and there's the possibility of running out of magic that way. But you should be fine. Try potions are the best, especially because we're in Argonian. If not, just use max magicka. Just always making sure that your magicka is up, because you're not going to really worry about your health. So all right, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. I think I'm going to do a Dragon Knight tank. It's pretty much the same gear as I use on my Warden, but everybody seems to like Dragon Knight better, even though Warden is the better tank. All right, see you guys later.